is Yuille from Old Staples Crafts. Thank you for joining me again today. You get me twice today, so this is my first visit. I am going to be using something that's very hidden. It's this, which is, I think, really hidden. It's the Detailed Hearts die. It's on page 12 of the gorgeous new January to June mini catalogue. It comes in amongst the Heartfelt Bundle suite, but is, as I say, I think tucked away, not obviously there. So I'm going to be featuring it today and in a few other videos that I've got planned over the next few weeks. So let me show you what I've made. So this is the project that I have been working on. This is the die. It comes on its own. It is a bit, it's not solid is what I'm trying to say. So do be careful when you are pulling it up off the sticky tape that you don't bend it. Just treat it with a certain amount of respect. So this is what I've made, and I hope you can see, not only have I inlaid, so I've got copper on Coastal Cabana, and not only have I inlaid black, but I've also, in some of them, I've used some fine tip glue just to fill them in. Really easy, you just dribble it in, and because these are stuck down, the die is stuck down, that forms the wall, if you like, for the glue. Although it doesn't tend to go too far anyway because it's not meant to. So that's what we're looking at. I've also used the tag set from the Autumn Winter catalogue, which is carried over, as well as the matching dies. I say that, she says, looking, oh, there they are. I was going to say, I can't see them. So they come in the dies come in one piece, although you also get the snowflake, pumpkins, and these two little hearts. So one solid and one outline heart. So that's the tags, the trio of tags dies, and the tags stamp set, which covers Halloween, Valentine's, and Christmas. I really should plug my brain in before I start videoing. And you die cut them all in one, and I will be covering that as we go. So, this is a real labour of love. I know that's a little bit of an ironic thing to say, bearing in mind it is a Valentine's card. Oh, and I have stamped on the inside, which is one of the other tags, and that's in Coastal Cabana to match the card. But laying all this in and doing the glue does take a wee bit of time. So I have, on the basis that it is only die cuts, I have pre-done the one that I'm going to be doing with you now, in that I have adhered the die cut and I've done most of the inlaying and I've done the glue. Now, one thing I have noticed, which was less obvious with the Coastal Cabana, if you touch the fine tip glue pen too hard on the card, it kind of leaves a little indentation. So even though the glue is now dry, I can see where I touched the card. So just be aware of that. What I'll probably have to do is go back and give it a second layer. But try not to scrape, because when you get the fine tip glue, if you scrape it on the card, you're liable to end up with this slightly odd cross. So I did use double-sided sheet for these, because otherwise it really would have been a total labour of love. So yeah, that was a bit of a cheat. As I say, I've got some other projects planned with this, so there will be plenty of opportunity to see me die cut it. And as I say, we've got another not a video, but another project coming today at, I want to say 9 o'clock this evening, UK time. So all I'm doing is taking the backing off and popping them in. Now, if these were just die cut and didn't have the sticky on the back, I just put a blob of the multi-purpose glue in there, just a tiny blob, and then pop them in. May actually be quicker in the long run. Oh, and another learn from my mistakes. If you get bubbles in your fine tip glue, the key is to see if you can burst them. Don't blow on them, because I don't know if you can see here, I've got a, can I get that to pick up? Maybe not, but there is a blow there. I'm not too worried because I'm going to cover it, but yeah. So that is the basic card. I've got some basic black card for the tags, and they come, as I say, in one piece. So I'm going to be heat embossing, so it's embossing buddy time. And as you know, I keep my embossing buddy on my Versamark ink pad. That way I always remember to use it. I was one of the worst offenders for not using it, and particularly on black, it's not a good look. Have used rather a lot there, however, so blow it off. This piece of card is a half sheet cut, half sheet of A4, so international A4, which is slightly narrower than the North American standard letter size, which is 8.5 by 11. This is about 8.25 by 11 and something. So it's slightly narrower and slightly longer, but all I'm saying is this is a half sheet of A4, and you can just get all 3 tags on there. So quick dabble in my copper embossing powder. Now I did think about doing Bermuda Bay and black embossing powder, which might have been interesting to have a look at, but I decided I would stick with the black. And then what I need, just make sure I haven't got anything where I don't want it. Nope. I need my trusty cheese board and a heat gun, and just warm everything up. So do remember that we've now got the spring, summer, July, June mini catalogue available to order from, and also it's celebration, so lots of free things. So if you spend £45 in one order, that's before PMP, in my online store, you can choose some free items. There's lots of stamps, there's a card kit, there's some twine and sequins, and there's designer series paper, as well as punches, dies, embossing folder, all sorts of really lovely things. So well worth a look, and a lot of them do coordinate. A lot of them do coordinate with items in the spring summer catalogue. So just waft that to get it dry, and then I need to die cut it. So bring in my cutting board and the dies, which I've put to one side. So these just slip over the top, and I use the magnetic base plate, so it's quite a good die for that, because because it's large, it holds everything down really well. And then just pop my top plate on to die cut. And bring it back and remove the die and pop out my die cuts. And as you can see, it's just wide enough, and I mean just wide enough. Oh, need that mouse as well. I'm actually only going to use, I think I might actually use this one this time. Yeah, I was going to use the same again, but let's not. Let's have a little bit of a change. So, grab my take your pick, just to pop out the little holes there. then get rid of those. Then this I'm just going to pop up over that bit that went wrong. Just pop it up on some black dimensionals. Do remember that we've got the combo pack of standard size and mini black dimensionals. Those have carried over from the autumn winter catalogue. I'm hoping they are going to carry over completely and be in the annual, but I honestly don't know. So we will have to keep our fingers crossed on that one. But I do like the black. So if you're using darker cardstock, it's a great alternative to the white. And just pop that down. And then I've also die cut the single heart that came with the tags. And I've just, again, I've used double-sided sticky tape on the back of my copper foil. Pop that on top so that it's the same copper as here. I know this is a slightly different colour, or shade I should say. Lid back on the embossing powder before I send it flying would be a truly clever idea. And I just need to clean off my stamps so that I can stamp on the inside, and on the basis that I used this one on the outside rather than this one, I'll use this one on the inside. So I'm going to grab a liner for my card because I'm going to use a black card base again, and one of the most useful tools in a crafter's toolkit, a post-it note. And I'm just going to mask off part of the insert, that's the word I'm looking for. Bermuda Bay ink. I am only going to ink up the bit that I want, but this is just in case I've still got Versamark on my stamps. I mean, I have cleaned them, but it's better to be safe than sorry. And there we go. I love you more. Doesn't say more than what. I think it's I love you more than you love me. I don't know. But I love you more. Right. Basic black card base. So this is a half sheet of A4, half sheet of letter size. I will have all the dimensions over on my website, which will be linked below as ever. Then some liquid adhesive on the back of my front. On the back of my front. Does that work? I think it does. So pop that down. Whoops. What I love about the liquid adhesive is when you have a whoops moment, you can straighten it out. There are some adhesives that are, in inverted commas, so good that you don't have a chance to move it. Even some liquid adhesives. And again, a little bit round the outside. Open up my card and pop that down. Again, straight would be nice. And there we go. Two really pretty but quite different, as in not red or pink, Valentine's cards. So I hope you enjoyed that. Do look at this die. It is amazing. It's £27. I can see myself using this as a mask. I can see myself using it for all sorts of things. It does. You can bundle it with the heart to heart stamp set. And these hearts will fit into the areas that are not die cut or behind, but just on its own I think it works. So yeah, anyway, thank you very much indeed for joining me. Do remember that if you've enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, and if you don't already subscribe, the subscription button is down there. My videos are never edited, they are as they come. Other than the odd Blue Peter moment where I do some prep, like with this one. Do have a look, if you're in the UK, have a look at my online store, which as I say is linked below. My website, which is also linked below, will have close-ups and a bit more information. And do remember the joining offer during Celebration, which is amazing. It's an amazing offer at the best of times. It's just stunning at this time of year. Thank you very much indeed, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye!